Chapter number 9, as you can remember, we discussed about the new character of Chinnadore. Now, a lot of problems actually started between Jagan and Mali, as I have explained to you. Most of these problems are based on generation gap and the conflict between traditional and modern culture, right? So if you take the novel, there are basically two basic themes that you have to follow. Number one, you have the generation gap. Number two, the conflict between traditional and modern culture. These two themes can be taken as the most important themes when it comes to your novel. So if you are following Vendor of Sweets by R.K. Narayan, you have to remember those two, themes. Those two themes will be very much important for you when you are getting ready for your exam. And as I have explained to you now, Jagan is not having that much enthusiasm towards his son's business, because Jagan understood that there is no point of going behind his son, because Mali has become an independent fellow and he can actually manage his own business and he can do his things by himself. And Mali is not paying any attention to his father, right? Mali is not paying any attention to his father. As a result of that, what we can understand here is that Jagan is actually understood that he has to pay more attention towards his life, towards his personal life. Now, as a father, from the very beginning of the novel, what we understood, as a father, he always had only two things in his mind. Number one, he wanted to provide good education for Mali, right? That is number one. He always wanted to provide good education for Mali. Number two, he always wanted to improve his business, right? Now, the second option, as I have explained to you, he wanted to build up the business to a new level because he wanted to save some kind of money, some kind of wealth for the betterment of Mali. Actually, Mali's education, right? In a nutshell, if you tell in a nutshell, he used the money for Mali's. He wanted to save that money for Mali's education, right? But unfortunately, Mali did not want to follow that education. He thought that he said that he wanted to become a writer, and later he wanted to go to America. And however, he came from America with a half Korean, half American girl called Grace. So because of that reason, actually, Jagan identified that there is no point of accumulating wealth for Mali, because Mali is not going to listen to his advisors, right? So as a father, he thought that there is no point of guiding him. So then in chapter number 9, we saw another character. The character's name is Chinnadore. So as a result of that, Jagan did a lot of things. Actually, he reduced the prices and he used to give all these sweetmeats free of charge. He actually gave up that mindset, monetary mindset, or else we call that financial mindset, right? He wanted to earn a lot of money, but he gave up that because at the end of the day, he understood that there is no point of accumulating this amount of money. So while my explanation is going on, you can write down, I will come to this slide, right? So that is what actually happened. Up to now, the story I am giving you some kind of a revision, right? So what happened, he understood that, okay, if my son is not going to listen, there is no point of actually explaining him all these things. At the end of the day, right, he should realize, and he must realize what he has to do. But according to my opinion, he is not ready for that. So I am not going to give any advices or anything like that to him. So as a result of that, we can see number of changes in his life, in Jagan's life, where Jagan reduced all the prices in his shop, right? He was actually running a sweet shop where he reduced all the prices. Then most of the customers were affordable to buy all these sweets, right? And even sometimes he gave all the sweets free of charge. He did not pressurize the workers who worked in the shop to work after their usual time period of working, right? He said that, okay, if you finish your work, you can go home, right? And furthermore, he said that there is no point of earning profits from this shop. If people want to buy more sweets, right, you can make more sweets, but my sole intention is not to earn money, right? Now I am going to give a fair chance for each and every customer to buy these sweets. So we can see this monetary mindset, this mindset, financial mindset of Jagannath is actually little bit different when it comes to chapter number 8 and chapter number 9. So in chapter number 2, 3, 4, 5, we saw what kind of money-minded person Jagannath is. But when it comes to chapter number 8 and 9, we can realize he saw money as something evil, right? he understood that most of the tragedies actually occurred in his life because of money, right? As an example, his son, right? Metamorphosis, very good, right? He understood that my son also became a rude boy, or else a boy who does not listen to his father because of money, right? Because we know that in the novel we had a very beautiful quotation where Jagan explains the only connection between father and son was that 5 rupee note that Jagan put on the table each and every day, right? That was the only connection, right? Even inside the house, Mali did not want to have some kind of connection with his father. The reason is that Mali actually believed his father is responsible for his mother's death. Today we are going to discuss that topic as well. But however, we can see a continuous problem between Jagannath and Mali, right? That becomes the major problem in the novel, right? So the entire novel runs because of this problem. You have to remember. Now what happened in chapter number 9, he met someone called Chinnadore. Chinnadore is actually living in Nallappa's Grove. Nallappa's Grove means the jungle, right? So in this jungle, he used to make statues with his master. His master's name is Periyadore, right? Chinnadore is actually taken care by master Periyadore. However, he died. After he died, so Chinnadore did not have any help from anyone because he is an orphan. So he used to do his job as a hairdresser, right? As a hairdresser. So, and he continued his work as a person who makes statues, and he used the special type of a stone that can be found in this jungle to make his statues, right? So he continued that, and he continued that with a sense of sacredness, right? Sense of sacredness. He believed that I am making a statue, so there is some kind of religious value to that. So, however, Chinnadore came to meet Jagan because the land that he worked, the land, the Nallappa's Grove, is about to sell. So, as a result of that, he wanted Jagannath to buy that land, right? He wanted Jagannath to buy that land. So, he came to Jagannath and he explained that I am this kind of a person. Why don't you have a visit to this Nallappa's Grove? You can get some kind of understanding what kind of job that I am doing there, right? So, Jagan actually moves to Nallappa's Grove, to the jungle. Soon after he went to the jungle only, he realized all these years he had been suffocating from loneliness, from isolation. As a result of that, he has lost himself, right? මෙච්චර කාලයක් මගේ ජීවිතේ මම තනියෙන් හිටියේ, තනිකම කියන එක මට පුරුදු වෙච්ච දෙයක් වෙලා තිබ්බා. මම හෙව්වේ මගේ පුතාවයි මගේ ව්‍යාපාරය ගැනයි විතරයි, මං ගැන මම හොයලා නෑනේ, right? So he understood the reality of life. He thought that I have not found myself, right? I have not found myself. So I have to think about my life now. I have already thought about my wife, about my children, my son, right? I have earned money and I have provided the best possible education for him. So I have done everything for the betterment of Mali. But all this time period, I have not thought about myself. That is the huge problem that he actually faced. So he thought about that when he went to the jungle, he got some kind of freedom that he has never experienced in his entire life, right? He got some kind of a freedom. So at that time period, he had a small conversation with Chinnadore, and Chinnadore can be taken as a very influential character where Chinnadore explained him about the reality of life. So he explained that Jagannath, when you come to a certain age, you have to give up all these worldly matters, all these relationships, and you have to think about your new Janma, or else about your rebirth, right? Your next birth, rather. I'm sorry, not rebirth, next birth, right? So it's like if you are a Buddhist, it's about nirvana, right? When you come to a certain age, right, after whatever the things that you have earned, you have to give them to your children, and then you have to think about your spiritual life, right? So Chinnadore explained about that. Until Chinnadore explained these things, Jagan did not have any idea about this. Jagan did not have any idea about this. He had a very monotonous life. He went to the shop and shop to the house and house to the shop, right? He only accumulated money, right? He used a lot of shrewd business techniques in order to earn money, right? So until Chinnadore explained about this, Jagan did not think about this. But later, Chinnadore explained him that there is no point of accumulating all these things. One day you will die. Now it is time period to seek your truth in your life, right? Now you can become a person who is searching for a truth, that spiritual happiness. So as a result of that, you can give up all these things. So this is kind of a very much important incident for Jagannath, and Chinnadore can be taken as an eye-opener. Chinnadore can be taken as an eye-opener where Jagannath actually understood the reality of life. As a result of that, he gave up all the relationships, all the bonds, all the attachments that he had towards his shop, as well as towards his son, because he understood, as Lord Buddha said, right, when we have 100 attachments, we will have 100 reasons to be 100 reasons to suffer, right? When you have no attachments, you will have no suffering. That is what Lord Buddha has said, right? The same idea can be seen here, the universal truth actually explained by Chinnadore. He said that when you come to a certain age, you have to give up all these relationships, because most of the suffering will occur due to these relationships. So if you continue these relationships with your son, what will happen? You will suffer yourself. So don't do that, right? Continue your life the way you like. So after that, he came to the house, and after that, Mali got to know that his son, Mali got to know that his father has completely changed, right? His father has completely changed. So he asked some questions from his father. What happened to you? I heard that you have reduced all the prices of these sweets, and a lot of people are coming to your shop, and other businessmen, they are actually making some kind of complaints about you, saying that you have reduced the prices and it has affected for them as well. So don't do like this, father. What is the reason? So Jagan said that it is my business. I can do whatever I want, right? It is not your business as well. If you like to continue my job, you can take over the shop and you can run it. If you think that you can earn money from this, you can take over my business and you can do that. But Mali said, that is the most important part that we have discussed. Mali said, I don't want to become a vendor like you. Now, this is the place where we actually stopped last week. So Mali directly said that I don't want to become a vendor like you. I have different plans. Even though you are a vendor, even though you are a owner of sweetmeats, I am not going to do that, right? I am a different person. I don't want to run your business. I have my own business. My own business is Mali Enterprises. What is Mali Enterprises? Mali Enterprises means Mali is going to import all these story writing machines from America, and he is going to sell them in India, right? Especially the town called Malgudi. But unfortunately, he can't continue the business because he did not have enough money to buy the subscription. So he needed 200,000 in order to continue the subscription. So he continuously asking money from Jagannath, but Jagan says that he doesn't have that amount of money, that much of money to give. So as a result of that, now he is having continuous problems with Jagannath. That is what happened. So in this quotation, as you can see here, in any case, your business worth nothing now. Now, from this quotation, what we can understand here is that what kind of mentality is actually possessed by Mali when it comes to Jagan's business. Whatever said and done, we have to agree with the fact that, my dear students, Jagannath actually raised Mali, provided better education, provided all the nourishment, provided all the food and beverages and all the other luxuries using his shop. We should understand that, right? So his shop, his business only actually helped him in order to become a successful man, right? But here what we can understand, Mali is actually discriminating. Mali is actually discriminating his father's business. Now, this is not something good. අපිට පේනවා ජගන්නාත් තමන්ගේ දරුවව හොඳට ඉගැන්නුවේ, අධ්‍යාපනය ලබා දුන්නේ, යහපත් මාර්ගයට යැව්වේ, සමාජයේ ලොකු මහත් කරේ, මේ කඩේට පින් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. ඒක ඔබ දන්නවා. You know about that. Now what we can see here is that Mali is actually discriminating. ඉතාලම පහත් විදියට කතා කරනවා මේ ව්‍යාපාරය ගැන. So this is not something acceptable. This is not that something we can accept. This clearly shows that what kind of mentality is actually possessed by Mali, right? So Mali is actually discriminating, ill-treating, neglecting the business. This is what we can see. In any case, your business worth nothing now. So he openly says to his father, I don't want to become a vendor like you because I personally know that your business is not valuable, right? In any case, your business worth nothing now, right? So that is the mindset, corrupted attitude. Very good, Gihansa. Very much corrupted, right? So can you understand? Now, my dear students, try to understand, Jagan is also responsible for this corruption. Can you understand? Jagan is also responsible because he is the person who actually made Mali to this type, right? He provided everything that Mali asked. Every single thing he provided without having any second thoughts. As a result of that, Yehansa, what happened? Mali became a corrupted boy. As a result of that, he became a corrupted boy, right? Now you can't say anything. As a father, you should not behave like that. You must not behave like that, right? Sometimes you have to show the correct path. Sometimes you have to give advices. Sometimes you have to give punishments. Otherwise, you can't actually tame a boy, right? You can't actually tame a boy. But what happened here is that Mali is the one and only son. So as a result of that, Jagan actually pampered him, right? Huratal kara, pampered him. So as a result of that, what happened actually, Mali became a corrupted boy. Mali became a corrupted boy. That is what happened, right? So this is not actually acceptable, right? Whatever the actually idea is actually given by Mali is not acceptable. And this is what we can understand in this chapter. So we will read that and try to understand. I hope that you guys have completed the note. Furthermore, Mali explained to his father that there is no value in his business. Jagan became so upset about with that expression because Jagan never thought that this kind of expression will be given by Mali. Jagan never thought that. Jagan has provided all the luxuries to Mali from his shop. Now, as I have explained to you, Mali was raised by whatever the money accumulated from this business. So Mali didn't have any right to talk like that. Right? So that is the problem here. So Jagan was completely upset about it, right? In any case, your business worth nothing now. So Jagan is the person who actually sacrificed his blood and sweat for the betterment of this business. So Jagan knows what kind of troubles and tribunals that he went through in his life in order to develop this business. So Mali didn't have any right, right? Mali don't have actually any right to tell like that, any right to speak like that. Can you understand? But he spoke like that, which clearly explains about the snobbish characteristics of Mali. Snobbish, right? Very snobbish characteristics, right? Very snobbish characteristics, right? He thinks that he's a big deal, right? He's kind of a big deal, but it is not like that, right? Up to now, until this moment, all the luxuries, all the food and beverages actually provided by Jagannath, not only for Mali, but also for the grace. So you can understand what kind of sacrifice actually done by Jagannath. We don't have any doubt about that, right? Jagannath has done a tremendous sacrifice, right? Whatever said and done by Mali, still Jagan is the person who provides all the food and beverages, shelter and everything for Mali and Grace. Even though they said that they are married, Mali is not actually applicable or else eligible to provide whatever the things asked by his wife, right? Mali didn't have enough money to provide all the things that is actually asked by Grace. That is a huge problem. That is why at the end of the day, she decides to go out of the country, because she understood that there is no point of going behind Mali, because Mali is not a person who can take tough decisions, and he cannot actually act as a husband because he is not financially stable for that, right? That is why at the end of the day, Grace actually gave up this relationship. We can understand that later. Mali furthermore explained that even he can't understand what kind of business trick Jagan tries to create by reducing the prices. So as I have explained to you, even Mali could not understand what kind of decision is actually taken by Jagannath, because Mali also knew that his father is a money lover, right? He knew that his father is a money lover. So as a result of that, actually, he thought that Jagan is doing some kind of a trick, right? Not only Mali, even the people who worked in the shop, they also thought that actually Jagan is doing some kind of a trick. But the reality is, it is not like that. As we discussed earlier, there is no healthy connection between father and son. Now, this part you have to remember, my dear students, right? Yes, Mali acts like a person without having any feelings. That is because Yehansa, Mali is trying his level best to take money from his father, right? He is using his wife. He is using what do you call, all the charming and all the flattering and beautiful words that he can use, right? All the strength is actually put by him in order to take money from his father, right? He wanted to take that 200,000 in order to start that, in order to pay for that subscription, then he can start his business. But unfortunately, Jagan is not ready to give that amount, because according to him, he doesn't have that amount of money, right? Jagan always wanted to start a relationship with Mali, right? From the very beginning of the novel, we saw that what kind of attempts actually done by Jagannath in order to start a heavy relationship with his son, right? If you can remember, right, all the blue color air mails, the Bhagavad Gita was actually replaced by all the blue color air mails. Jagan gave up Bhagavad Gita and read all that blue color air mails under the impression that all these letters are actually written by Mali. That kind of unconditional love can be seen between father and son. I hope that you guys can understand, you guys can remember, right? But unfortunately, Mali did not give any chance, right? Mali did not give any chance to his father in order to start a relationship. Mali started to explain about the fiction writing machine again. Fiction writing means the story writing machine. His only motive is to persuade Jagan towards his business, right? As I have explained to you, he wanted to persuade Jagannath towards his business, then he can get money and he can pay the subscription. He didn't have enough money to pay the subscription. He continuously tries to persuade his father towards his business. The entire relationship is based on money. Now Jagan has realized that. Now earlier Jagan did not realize that, but now Jagan realizes that the entire relationship is actually based on money, right? Now he realized that, right? So in direct terms, if I explained you, Jagan is like the ATM machine for Mali. Jagan is like the ATM machine for Mali. Whenever he needed money, he used actually his father. If you can remember, he actually stole money from his father in order to make the passport and all the documents to go to America without asking from his father. He is that type of a character. Now you have to remember these things, my dear children, right? The book you have to read by yourselves, and you have to remember the important notes what I'm going to give here, and basically all the quotations you have to study. That is how we are going to complete the novel, and I'm going to explain all the difficult words as well from chapter number 1. The entire relationship is based on money. Now Jagan has realized that, right? Now what happened here is that Jagan has realized that there is no point of helping my child, because now Mali has become a different type of a monster where he is asking only for money. He doesn't think about the relationship between father and son. He only pays the attention towards money. He needed money. That's it, right? He didn't have any other attention. He didn't need any other thing from his father. The father is actually kind of a nominal father, right? Kind of a nominal one, right? Only for the name, for the sake of name, right? Just father, right? There is no relationship actually, right? He only needed money, right? Everything is based on money, right? Can you understand this part? Shall we move on to the next part? Yehansa, Pasandul, can you understand Buddha? Sohara, can you please pass me a message? Up to now the story, can you understand? Right, okay. Yehansa is okay with that. Pasandul, I hope that you can understand. I will give some single explanations as well in the middle. Then you can get the idea, even though you are to be literature students, most of you may be single medium students. So I will give some explanation as well in the middle. Then you can understand how it is going on. Right, okay. Right now, up to now, what we can see that we cannot see any attachment now, right? The problems are getting worse, right? The problems are getting worse between Jagannath and Mali. That is what we can realize when we read chapter number 9. Right. Without paying any attention towards Mali, Jagan asked about grace. Now Jagan is actually asking about grace. So in between this time period, grace cannot be seen. Grace cannot be seen in the house. Then Mali kasada benda meyage kasada benda කියලා කියන මේ grace කියන ළමයා ගෙදර පේන්න නැහැ. තොර තාත්තා අහනවා දැන් පුතාගෙන් මොකද උනේ මේ ළමයාට කො මේ ළමයා. Without paying any attention towards Mali, Jagan asked about grace. Mali insisted that he is not bound to give answers for all the questions raised by Jagan. So Mali said that I am not bound to give answers, right? Whatever the questions that you ask, I am not bound to give the answers, right? If you want to check, you can check and you can figure it out, right? I am not bound to give you answers. Furthermore, he added that Grace will have to go back and they will have to buy her an air ticket. Now he explains. Now what happens here is that Yehansa, Mali is trying to use grace. Mali is trying to use grace, and Mali is trying to use his marriage, right, as a weapon against Jagannath. So he thought that if Grace goes out of the country, definitely his father will give money, because his father never wanted to see the separation between Mali and Grace. So according to Mali, Mali says that since I cannot continue my business, Grace is actually hoping to go back. The reason is that I can't start my business because you are not giving me money. So as a result of that, what is going to happen now? My marriage will be over. My marriage will be destroyed. That is what's going to happen, right? So if you want to save my marriage, father, indirectly, that is what he says. Then tamange birindai tamange kasade දැන් මෙයා බිල්ලට දීලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මෙයා කියන්න හදන්නේ මොකක්ද? ග්‍රේස් තවදුරටත් මේ රටේ ඉන්නේ. එයා යනවා වෙන රටකට. ඒකට හේතුව තමයි මේ මගේ බිස්නස් එක කරගෙන යන්න බෑනේ. සල්ලි නැහැනේ. ඒතර තාත්තා සල්ලි දුන්නා නම් මට බිස්නස් එක කරන් යන්න තිබ්බ. දැන් තාත්තා සල්ලි දෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. ඒතර මගේ බිරිඳ ඉන්නෙත් නැහැ. මගේ කසාද ජීවිතේ එතනින් ඉවරයි. That is the idea that he wanted to provide here. I hope you guys can understand, right? So you can understand what kind of mentality is actually possessed by Mali. You have to understand these characteristics, Puta, when you are writing answers, right? So there can be a comparison. There can be a contrast and compare when it comes to these characters. So you should remember what kind of characteristics are actually possessed by these people. So Mali is putting everything. Mali is putting everything, every single thing, and he wanted to get his money, right? He doesn't matter about the relationship with Grace or whatever like that. He will put anything and he will get the maximum of that. His vision or else his mission is to do that. He added that Grace will have to go back and they will have to buy her an yacht. Jagan asked what is the connection between business and Grace. So Jagan was a little bit confused. So he asked that, okay, now you can't start your business. That is because you can't pay the subscription. I can understand that. But how, what is the link between Grace and the business? I can't understand that. Grace is your wife. So there is no point of going to another country if you are husband and wife. You don't have to do like that. So Jagan cannot understand what kind of connection is there. There is no connection actually. This connection is actually made by Mali. Can you understand? This connection is actually made by Mali, right? I hope you guys can understand. Jagan asks what is the connection between business and Grace. He can't even understand the logic behind that. Mali explained that there is no point of staying in India because she can't utilize her knowledge into his business. So Mali clearly said that, okay, she is going back to her country because she can't utilize her business here, right? So she can't utilize her knowledge to my business. So there is no point of waiting in this country. She actually came to India in order to help me, in order to provide some kind of contribution to my business. She is well educated. If my business is not going to take place in this country, there is no point of waiting in this country. So she will go back. Jagan did not agree with the idea. Jagan did not agree with that idea. He explained that he can talk to her. I do not understand what you are talking about. Very important quotation, highlight and write down. I do not understand what you are talking about. I have never been able to understand you at all. Call her, let me talk to her. Right? That is the actually utterance given by Jagannath during this conversation. From the above quotation, we can understand the connection between father and son. Even though Jagan did not show any attention towards Grace at the beginning, later as a father, he showed respect and love towards Grace. If you can remember, when Mali came with the half Korean, half American girl, Jagan did not show any interest towards her. If you can remember, right? Jagan did not show any interest towards her, right? She's a half Korean, half American girl. As a result of that, Jagan did not like her. But soon after she came to the house, she wore all the Indian saris and she used to clean the house. So she behaved like an Indian daughter-in-law. So Jagan thought that the goddess Saraswati came back to the house after Ambika's death. That is what happened, right? So Jagan thought that goddess Saraswati came back to the house after Ambika's death. So this is something very much important that you have to pay your attention, right? So as a result of that, we can see a very good connection between Jagannath and Grace, right? But at the very beginning, he did not like her. But later on, gradually, we can see some kind of relationship actually was there between Jagannath and Grace, right? As father and daughter-in-law. Jagan is still under the impression that Grace and Mali are married. Don't forget that Grace and Mali are not married. They are living together, right? They are living together, but Mali has said that he is married to Grace. So Jagan is under the impression that they are married, right? So that is the problem. So here Mali actually lied to Jagannath. Mali is trying to make a situation here showing that his marriage life is in danger because his father had not provided finance to develop his business, Mali Enterprises. Now, as I have explained to you, this is what happened, right? So as you can see here, Mali is using Grace and his marriage in order to take that 200,000 for his subscription in order to start Mali Enterprises. So we can see what kind of ideas, what kind of attitudes possessed by Mali when it comes to this business, right? He wanted to earn money and he wanted to collect money and he wanted to start his business. That is the sole purpose that he had. That is why he actually had a relationship with the Grace, even in America. He used to take her money. At the end of the day, he gave a promise to her, I will take you to India and I will marry you there. But unfortunately, he did not marry her as well, right? So Mali's life is entirely a life which is actually made of snobbish values, right? Snobbish values, right? He thinks that he knows everything. He thinks that he has a lot of experiences about business, about entrepreneurship, but we can understand that he is not that type of a person. He's really an inexperienced person. That is what we can understand. I hope you guys have completed. Hurry up and pass me a message if you have completed. Right. Can you understand the explanation? Yehansa, what about Pasindul? Pasindul, can you understand? Sohara, Uani, can you understand what I have explained here? Please pass me a message. If you have any problems, please ask Amaya. Right. Now you can see whenever Jagan wanted to start some kind of a relationship, Mali is not giving any room for that. Mali is not giving any room for that. That is what we can understand. Mali is not giving any room. This is what we can realize, right? This is what we can realize. So that is the problem actually, right? At the end of the day, Jagan gives up, right? If you can remember, in the last chapter, Jagan gives up at the end of the day, right? He says that I am not coming to take him out of jail. He should learn a lesson and he should stay in jail, right? I'm not coming, right? So this is what we can understand, right? Very important. Okay, right. So we will move on to the next part. I hope that you guys have completed the note. We are going to chapter number 9. Still, we are in chapter number 9. Let's see what is going to happen. Jagan never wanted his son to be divorced. Now, any father, any mother in this world does not like to see that kind of incident. Whatever the problems that they had with their children, they don't want to see that kind of situation, right? Jagan never wanted his son to be divorced. But Mali is continuously trying to show the idea that Grace is going back to her country as a reason of Jagan's failure to fund Mali enterprises, right? That is the reason. What is the reason that Grace is going back to her country? The reason is that Jagan fails to fund for Mali enterprises. So as a result of that, my wife is going back to her country. As a result of that, my marriage will be completely destroyed. So as a result of that, this kind of incidents may occur. So if you want to get some kind of support, right? Some kind of a support, please actually give this amount of money, right? It will be the greatest support that you can give to continue my business. That is what he said. That is what he wanted to infer, rather, right? That is what he wanted to tell in a symbolical manner, right? This again shows us Mali's sole purpose of having Grace and Jagan in his life. What is the sole purpose, Amaya? Why he wanted to continue all these relationships, Amaya, according to your point of view? Now you have learned actually up to chapter number 9. So what is the sole purpose, right? What is the sole purpose? Money. Very good, Jehansa. Very good. Money. මේ සම්බන්ධකම් සියල්ලම මේ පුතා තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ පුතා සල්ලි වලට. වෙන දෙයකට නෙමෙයි තාත්තව තියන් ඉන්නේ සල්ලි වලට. ඒතර මේ සල්ලි කියන එක පුතාට බෝ කරේ කවුද? සල්ලි කියන එක පුතාට බෝ කරන්නේ ජගන්. එතන ලොකු වැරද්දක් වෙනවා පුතා, right? So Jagan is the person who actually provided money when Mali was very small, right? When Mali was actually in his youth, Jagan is the person who provided money for everything. As a result of that, what happened at the end of the day, just like Jagannath, Mali also became a money-minded man. Can you understand what kind of bad precedent? Purvadarsha. මොකද්ද පුතේ precedent කියන්නේ? Purvadarsha. Bad precedent, right? Bad precedent. What kind of bad precedent is actually provided by Jagannath? පේනවද තාත්තා කෙනෙක් දුන්න වැරදි පූර්වාදර්ශයක තරම, right? Bad precedent, right? So that is what we can understand. This again shows us Mali's sole purpose of having Grace and Jagan in his life. He needed to have more and more money. He didn't care about family relationships. Later, Mali added Grace has gone out. When Mali added that, okay, Grace is not there in this house, she went out. We can clearly understand Jagan is paying much more attention towards Grace as Mali's father, where same attention is not paid by Mali as the husband. That is very important, right? Mali added Grace has gone out. We can clearly understand Jagan is paying much more attention towards Grace as Mali's father, where the same attention is not paid by Mali as the husband. But we know he's not the husband. But yet, right, he's not paying any attention. As a father, Jagan wanted to know. Jagan wanted to know what happened to his daughter-in-law. He wanted to know. But Mali was not that much keen, or Mali was not that much attentive towards his wife. That is what we can understand, right? So very different perspectives, very different attitudes we have. Where is she going? Why is she going? Is she unhappy here? So Jagan is asking the question from Mali. Very important quotations, right? Where is she going? Why is she going? Is she unhappy here? The comment made by Mali to the statement again shows us one of the major themes of the novel, the conflict between traditional and modern culture. So this question is actually raised by Jagannath. And the answer given to this question is a very important quotation. As a student, you have to follow that quotation. There is no hard and fast rule. You have to by heart that quotation. Very important quotation from the novel, right? Let's see what is that quotation later. Mali to the statement again shows us one of the major themes of the novel, the conflict between traditional and modern culture. It depicts us about the ideology of Indian society towards women. Mali clearly explains Indian women are going through a miserable situation comparatively to the other women in the world. So this is something very important. Another theme actually can be seen, where Mali clearly explains that Indian women are going through a very miserable situation comparatively to the other women in the world. They don't have their own freedom and respect. Don't forget that Mali observed his mother when he was a young boy. So he has seen how Jagannath has treated Ambika, right? So he can very easily comparatively give this kind of an opinion. When he was a small boy, when he was a young boy, he saw how his father treated his mother. Ambika represented the Indian traditional woman, Indian traditional women actually, right? So we can clearly understand here, my dear students, as a boy, he is the one who can give an opinion about the difference of both women. Number one, Ambika is his mother, a traditional Indian woman. On the other hand, his girlfriend, Grace, is actually representing the European culture, or else the Western culture. So he is the one who can give that opinion, and he gives his opinion, right? Women who are in our country, they are miserable creatures, right? They don't have any freedom. They don't have any respect. Most of the Asian women, even today, the situation is very same. The situation is very much evident in the novel when we refer to the character of Ambika. I hope that you guys can remember Ambika's character, Jagan's wife, who is the best example for Indian traditional woman, right? So Ambika, Jagan's wife, can be taken as the best example for Indian traditional woman. So from this chapter, we can understand R.K. Narayan is creating a very good comparison between Indian traditional woman and the Western woman, right? Indian traditional woman and the Western woman, when it comes to freedom, when it comes to domination, when it comes to respect, what are the changes, what are the differences that R.K. Narayan has undergone when it comes to these two characters. So hurry up and finish that. We will go to the next part to check the quotation. Right. Shall we start from there? I hope that you guys have finished. Right. Up to now, I hope that you guys can understand. Sohara, Amaya, if you have any problems, please ask. Right. Don't continue writing. If you have any problems, you can ask. But I'm not going to read the novel. You have to read the novel. Right now, take chapter number 9 and complete reading chapter number 9. Then all the important notes are given here. That is what you have to do. Right. Reading part you have to do by yourselves. But the notes and all the important quotations, target questions, I will discuss on Monday. Right. So we will move on to the next part. I hope that you can understand this part. I am moving to the next part. Right. Okay. There is a clear comparison, as I have explained to you, from Ambika's character to Grace's character. So there can be a question for you ordinary level exam to compare these two characters, Ambika and Grace. What kind of opportunities, what kind of troubles and tribunals, what kind of challenges actually faced by Ambika? On the other hand, what kind of challenges are actually faced by Grace? So this clear comparison can be seen when it comes to the novel. So using that, R.K. Narayan tries to show us the difference of these women in different hemispheres, right? When it comes to Asia, the situation is different, completely male-dominant society. On the other hand, if you come to European countries or the Western culture, right, we don't have any dominance like that. Women are very much equal to men. That is the difference that we can see. Whatever the happiness enjoyed by Grace as a lady, the same happiness and freedom is not enjoyed by Ambika. This is what we can understand, right? Whatever the happiness and freedom is actually enjoyed by Grace, the same freedom in India, right? Not in other countries, right? Grace actually enjoyed that freedom in India. Now, without asking Mali, without asking Jagannath, she can go wherever she pleases. But that kind of freedom is not given to Ambika, right? When Ambika is moving out of the house, Ambika has to take the permission from Jagannath. That kind of freedom is not given. Can you understand? So there is a big difference. I hope you can understand, which represents about the freedom of women in European countries and Asia. Ambika was raised under the guidance of her father, right? If you can, we will discuss in chapter number 12. The entire chapter number 12 is actually about the wedding of Jagannath and what kind of customs and rituals actually practiced by the Indian society when it comes to that type of a wedding. That is what we can see. So Ambika was raised under the guidance of her father. Soon after she married Jagan, even though Jagan loved her, Ambika had to live under the domination of Jagannath. There is no doubt that Jagan actually loved Ambika a lot, right? In chapter number 10, chapter number 12, we can see that, right? What kind of tremendous love actually Jagan possessed towards Ambika. But nevertheless, right, after this marriage, Ambika had to live under the domination of Jagannath. We should not forget that, my dear students, right? Even in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, India, and most of the Asian countries, we can see male domination, Purushadipatya. Male domination can be seen. India is still a male-dominated society. As a result of that, she did not get proper medicine and health care for her brain tumor due to Jagannath's foolish thoughts related to Ayurvedic medicine. What happened here is that Jagannath did not pay proper attention to Ambika's cancer. Ambika had a brain tumor. Whenever Ambika is actually crying with agonizing pain, Jagan did not provide proper attention. He always prescribed Ayurvedic medicine. As a result of that, what happened? The doctor said that when in Ambika's deathbed, if you can remember, right, if proper medicine provided, she could have been saved. But unfortunately, proper medicine was not provided. Why proper medicine was not provided? Because Jagannath always believed in Ayurvedic medicine. He did not believe in Western medicine. So this is what we call his blind, foolish attitude, which actually costs Ambika's life. I hope you guys can understand. This can be taken as the nuclear problem between Mali and Jagannath. Please pay attention to these things, my dear children. Very important. That is why I am explaining it. As a result of that, she did not get proper medicine and health care for her brain tumor due to Jagan's foolish thoughts related to Ayurveda medicine. Jagan did not recognize her pain properly. As a result of that, Ambika died without proper medication. This is the nuclear problem between Mali and Jagannath, where Mali believes that his father is indirectly responsible for his mother's death. This is where all the problems started. The problems did not start because of Mali enterprises. Don't misunderstand, my dear students, right? The problems did not start because of Mali enterprises. The problem started, Mali believed that his father did not pay proper attention because Mali and Ambika, they had a very strong relationship as mother and son. They had a very strong relationship. After coming from school, Mali did not go to play cricket with his friends, right? Mali provided all the security, all the nourishment to his mother, right? As a young boy, he had that kind of strong bond, right? Mali is the person who knew where Ambika kept all the medicine, which means that when Ambika was having an agonizing pain, Ambika asked all the medicine from Mali, right? Ambika asked all the medicine from Mali because Ambika knew that Jagan is not ready to provide them. Soon after Jagan got to know that what happened, Jagan did not give even all these paracetamol. Painkillers are also not given by Jagannath, right? The reason is that he thought it will bring some kind of negative effects. So at the end of the day, Ambika died, right? But Ambika's brain tumor could have been cured. But the problem is actually Jagan did not, pay proper attention for that. You have to understand this. This is the story. There is no point of reading the novel if you don't know what happens here, right? This is what you have to understand, right? Ambika died without proper medication. This is the nuclear problem between Mali and Jagannath, where Mali believes that his father is indirectly responsible for his mother's death. On the other hand, Grace symbolizes the modern woman from the European world. The way she behaves in the house, her thoughts and her words clearly emphasize us what kind of freedom was enjoyed by her. Now, can you see the difference here? You can see the difference, right? I hope you can see the difference. This is the difference that we can see. Ambika, she was actually suppressed, oppressed by the Indian society, male-dominated society. On the other hand, Grace was not actually experiencing that kind of relationship, right? He told Ambika to fry little amount of margosa flowers in ghee, exactly. Whatever the problems, whatever the health problems actually occurred, Yehansa, if you can remember, Jagan had only one cure. Jagan had only one cure. The cure is that using margosa sticks. Whatever the health problem actually occurred, he only had one answer. He had only one solution. Can you understand? This is what you have to pay your attention. So I have explained to you how their problems actually started. What do you mean by male domination, right? How these two women, actually we have only two women in the entire novel. In the entire novel, we only have two women characters, right? So we have to pay our attention very carefully, and sometimes there can be a question for your oral exam, right? How you are going to verify these two women, right? So this is something very important that you have to pay your attention. So please read this very carefully. It will be very much important. Hurry up and write down. Okay, my dear students, I hope that you guys have finished. Right, okay. What about Pasindul? Pasindul, did you write? Sohara, Uvani, shall we continue? Right, okay. Right, now this quotation is something very important that you have to pay your attention, my dear students. The red color quotation, please write down that one and you have to buy hard this, right? All the red color quotations which I'm going to give here, you have to buy hard, right? This comparison is evident in the following quotation. This quotation is one of the most important quotation you must study for your exam, which covers almost all the themes in the book, including the conflict between traditional and modern culture, generation gap, and the conflict between father and son, right? So you can use this quotation to answer almost three themes. So that type of quotations you must study, right? Because you can cover a lot of questions by reading this quotation, by hearing this quotation. Who are you to stop her from going where she pleases? Now, this is the question actually asked by Mali, right? So you can clearly see what kind of free mindset can be seen in Mali's character when we compare his character with Jagannath. She's a free person, not like the daughters-in-law in our miserable country. Mali furthermore added that there is nothing in this country to make her happy. What is there to keep her happy? Cried Mali. This is a miserable place with no life in it. See the language, right? See the language, generation gap, traditional and modern culture. According to Mali, in this traditional country, there is no life. What do you mean by there is no life? A new generation, a new tree, a new plant cannot be grown. A new start cannot be given, right? There is no place. There is no place for entrepreneurship. There is no place for hope. There is nothing at all. Mali furthermore added that there is nothing in this country to make her happy. What is there to keep her happy? Cried Mali. This is a miserable place with no life in it. She was used to a good life. She came here to work and she's going back because she has no work to do, right? This is the idea given by Mali. Very important quotation, my dear students. Very important, right? So we can clearly cover basically three basic, what you call themes related to the novel. The conflict between traditional and modern culture, generation gap, and the conflict between father and son. All these three parts can be covered. All these three parts can be covered by using one single quotation, right? Very important. So this is the attitude, this is the mindset that the young people had towards their motherland when it comes to the post-independent period of India. After Mahatma Gandhi's death, right? After Mahatma Gandhi's all the policies, even though people like Jagannath, they really appreciated and admired all these things, all this young generation who actually lived in this 21st century, after the who lived actually after Mahatma Gandhi's period, post-independent period of India, they did not like this concept. They loved globalization. They wanted to get with the new world, with new technology, and they wanted to globalize actually. But unfortunately, because of their fathers and mothers, they were not allowed for that, right? So that is why they say this is a miserable place with no life in it. Very powerful quotation. Miserable place. Dukkita dana. No life will be started in India. I don't have any future here, right? I don't have any future here. That is what he explains. Very important quotation that you have to pay your attention. Very important, right? Hurry up and write down. Please write down the red color quotation and highlight that. Basically, you have three themes to cover here. Huh? Hurry up. Right. Okay. Now make sure to study this quotation. As I have explained to you, this can be taken as one of the most important quotations when it comes to the novel, because it covers a lot of themes, right? So you have to find out that type of quotations where you can write so many things by using the same quotation rather than studying a lot of quotations, right? Because you have other subjects to study. You have 20 poems, 2 dramas, four short stories. So it is not an easy task, right? So you have to go through with everything, and you have to read them, and you have to pay your attention. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you, right? Okay, we will move on to the next part then. We have discussed a lot, right? Jagan still couldn't find out the connection between the wife and the business, right? Jagan can't still figure out what is the connection between the wife and the business, right? Where what is actually said by Mali. Jagan thought that all the wives in the world are used to do the same thing. This clearly shows us his narrow-minded attitude towards women. This symbolizes the attitude of Asian men as well. They believe traditional Indian daughters-in-law must engage in the household irrespective of their education and abilities. Most of them believed and accepted that women are born to do that. This is the traditional view of the Asian society which R.K. Narayan tries to show us. Mali belongs to modernity, the modern society. Mali has seen the world and has understood different roles played by women inside the society and what kind of contribution is done by them for the betterment of the society economically, right? The best example is Grace. Following quotation is another good example to show the traditional perspective of Asian society towards females. Jagan swallowed back the words he wanted to blurt out, but she is sweeping and cleaning the house, right? So Jagan thought that women are for that. Women are made for that. Sweeping and cleaning. That is the attitude that Jagan had. Jagan thought that cleaning and sweeping, right? This is the mindset. This is the attitude. Can you understand? This is a big house and she has enough work to keep her engaged for a whole day. What more does she want? Can you understand how narrow-minded, right? Doesn't matter what kind of education that you possess, doesn't matter what kind of qualifications, abilities that you have. Women are there to clean and sweep the garden. This is the attitude that he had. Can you understand? This is the mindset. This is the attitude. So this is very negative, my dear students. Try to understand this. Very narrow-minded attitude. Very narrow-minded, right? So he asked the question, this is a big house. She can sweep the floors. She can clean the house. That is what women are for, right? We cannot categorize Puta women like that. We cannot categorize women like that. That is something really bad that we do. We can't categorize like that, Puta. Can we categorize like there are really talented, really qualified women, right? Who can really do, who can really give a helping hand to the society, to the family, right? When we take Sri Lanka, actually, most of the women who engage in jobs, after their jobs, they come to their houses and they engage in that work, right? So that is why the poet says that right? Very nice poem. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔෆිස් එකේ වැඩ කරලා ඇවිල්ලා ආයෙ ගෙදර ඇවිල්ලත් වැඩ. බලන්න. වැඩ ඇරි වැඩට යති ගැහණු. ඔෆිස් එකේ වැඩ කරලා ඇවිල්ලා මාන්සියලා ඇවිල්ලා ගෙදර ඇවිල්ලත් වැඩ. බලන්න හරි ලස්සන කවියක්. Very beautiful poem. That is the poem, right? වැඩ ඇරි වැඩට යති ගැහණු. Right? So see the suffocation actually gone through by these women who live in Asian countries. වැඩ ඇරි වැඩට යති ගැහණු. Right? This is the reality actually. Think about your mother who is working, right? Who is working in the house, right? So it doesn't mean that she is bound to do that. Even as a father also has to do that. But the problem is father is engaging in all the office work, and because of that reason he can't do that. Not only father, not only mother, you also should do that. But according to Jagannath, he believed that women are actually made by God in order to do cleaning and sweeping. Can you understand? So this is not something that we can agree. This is the mindset that we can clearly understand when it comes to these traditional societies, right? Traditional mindset, traditional societies. This is the mindset that they had. This is what they had performed, right? So you can clearly understand what kind of mentality that they had, right? So this quotation is a very good quotation to show what kind of attitude that Jagan had. Male-dominated society. They thought that women are there for cleaning. Women are there for sweeping. They can't do any other thing. They can't become doctors. They can't become lawyers. They can't become engineers. They can't become politicians. They thought like that. But that is not the true. But unfortunately, my dear students, in India, the situation is still the same. In India, the situation is still the same, right? Whether you like it or not, whether you like it or not, situation is still the same. That is what we can understand, right? So you can hurry up and write down this part as well. Right. Okay. So we have finished. We will go to the last slide. Right. So we'll discuss this one, the last part. Mali announced she came here for the project to work with me. Didn't you see her name in the notice? If she has nothing to do here, she goes back. That's all. Her air ticket must be bought immediately. Jagan did not understand working part. Then he added, but a wife must be with her husband, whatever happens. That was in your day, said Mali and left. From the above quotations, one can clearly realize the problems are getting worse between father and son. And make sure to understand, my dear students, this quotation can be also taken as one of the quotations which shows clears all the themes: traditionalism and modern culture, generation gap, and the problem between father and son as well. All these problems are actually clearly mentioned by using this dialogue. So today we discussed in chapter number 9 almost all the dialogues which are related to the women and what kind of place is actually provided by the society towards women, and how they react to this kind of situations, and what kind of freedom is actually enjoyed by them, right? And this dialogue between father and son can be taken as another clear quotation which clearly explains about the connection between father and son, as well as generation gap and what kind of mindset that traditional people had towards women. On the other hand, what kind of mindset that modern people had, or else the people from the modern society, postmodern period had about women, right? Very good, important quotation, as you can see here. But a wife must be with her husband, whatever happens. That was in your day. That was in your generation. That was in Mahatma Gandhi's generation, not in our generation, because we are living together. That is the concept actually explained here, right? So you can hurry up and write down this part. Right. So we'll wind up the session from here, right? You will get the recording as well. You can refer to the recording and you can write down if you need the notes. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. We will meet on Thursday. We are going to start our new poem, that is the Camel Song by Rudyard Kipling. And we will continue the question and answering session as well. We have completed all the prose related to the Northwestern Province paper, and that will be also continued on that. See you then. Have a nice day. Good night.